Hello and welcome to the world of Neko Pop. I'm Nat, your host, here presenting my top 10 sci-fi anime list. Sci-fi is a genre near and dear to my heart and has been since childhood. Alongside fantasy, sci-fi just has this ability to not only make you feel alive, but also question the world around you. It challenges you to expand your worldview and think creatively. And there's no better medium to explore this than with anime. So today, I am thrilled to explore my all-time favorite sci-fi anime that have personally changed my life with all of you. So with that being said, let's get into it. Number 10. Kaiba. Kicking off, we have the Miyazaki Uasa cult classic that drastically flew under the radar for far too long. Kaiba is a hodgepodge of genres that all center around sci-fi. The story follows Warp as they wake up with no memory and are thrust into a high-stakes world where memories are immortal. So if you have the money, you can just live forever and, just keep swapping out bodies. This has created a social hierarchy where the lower classes are not only disenfranchised, but now must also worry about being trafficked and stripped of their bodies. Warp must traverse the universe to unravel the mystery of what happened to their memories. Through this complex setting, Kaiba garners the most praise through the way that it dissects self-exploration, gender identity, and existentialism. Created by my favorite person in the anime industry, Miyazaki Uasa, Kaiba quickly earned the title of cult classic, and for good reason. Unfortunately, due to when it was released in 2008 and how it was promoted, Kaiba completely flew under the radar. It was honestly way ahead of its time, and it makes me so happy to see how much love it's been earning over the last couple of years. Out of everything on this list, Kaiba is the most avant-garde and existential anime in all of the best ways. Please do yourself a favor and check out this exploratory masterpiece. Number 9. Number 6. Now for one of the most underrated and slept on series in this whole list. Number 6 is as elusive as it is underrated, and is really difficult to actually track down and watch. Literally no streaming services currently have it, but I cannot recommend enough taking the time to track it down. Because this post-apocalyptic sci-fi adventure is absolutely captivating and had me sobbing by the end. Plus, for all my LGBT fam, number 6 is hella gay. Like, not gay-coded, but actually gay. It follows Shion, who is a boy living in a dystopian futuristic society where his peaceful life is suddenly thrust into chaos after helping shelter a fugitive named Nezumi. This kicks off a spiral that plucks him from his privileged life and forces him to see the reality of the dystopian world he lives in. He also starts to see the government conspiracy that has shielded the elite from this devastating truth. After seeing a traumatic incident being covered up by the government, he's reunited with Nezumi as the two team up to uncover this brutal truth that fuels their society. Now, I'm a sucker for post-apocalyptic content, and this puppy just scratched that itch so well. I had heard that this show was super good, so I was super excited to watch it. I just didn't expect to like it as much as I did. And it's honestly a shame that number 6 has been relegated to the outskirts of mainstream anime, so I have and will continue to promote it whenever I get the chance. Number 8. Mobile Suit Gundam Witch from Mercury. Let me start out by saying this is the only Gundam I have watched so far, and that is the only reason that other Gundams aren't on this list. I know, I'm sorry, I'm trying my best, but not really, to catch up. When I was approached to watch this, I was very hesitant because I don't like mecha anime, and that's just a fact that I know about myself. But you guys, I was so wrong about this anime. The prologue episode alone had me in an absolute chokehold, and I was locked in. Like other Gundam series, Witch from Mercury echoes similar plot points. surrounding the morality of war, exploiting child soldiers, and of course, space politics. But this one also had something else going for it. It's super gay. Like, our main character is engaged to another woman the bulk of the series. We follow Suletta, who is a teenager from, you guessed it, Mercury. She gets to attend an elite school in hopes to further her education, which she hopes to one day take back to Mercury. In this particular Gundam era, Gundams have been banned by the Mobile Suit Development Council due to the, whole fact that they horrifically kill their pilots, which are usually children. At school, Suletta meets her future wife, who I always butcher her name, Miorin, who is the daughter of one of the largest tech conglomerates who has the control over the bulk of the political world. In this day and age, a space hierarchy has formed in which Earth is the Walmart of the galaxy. And the Spatians from other planets are constantly looking down on its people, which creates hostility and unrest. The plot is honestly super complicated, and it would do all of us more harm than good for me to try to break it down in this video. All y'all need to know is that this series is amazing. Like, the sheer amount of development from the first core to the next is unreal. Which from Mercury shifts genres a multitude of times, spanning from cutesy slice of life to, dear God, why would they do this trauma? Honestly, it's a perfect intro to the Gundam universe, and one that has inspired me to, eventually, consume all of it. I know that mecha can be very intimidating, especially if you don't like the genre, but I really urge you guys to give this puppy a go.
Present day. Present time.
And you don't seem to understand
just how good and integral to anime itself that Serial Experiments Lane was to the fabric of anime. This show was light years ahead of its time, coming out in 1998 and predicting elements of the cybernetic world and infusion into humanity that we see today. Alongside Cowboy Bebop and Ghost in the Shell, Serial Experiments Lane was one of the most influential anime to come out in the 90s. The story follows Lane, who is a normal high schooler whose life completely falls apart after receiving an email from a supposedly dead classmate. And this kicks off a series of events that literally tears the fabric of her reality apart. I don't want to say anything more about the plot because this one is just best going into blind. Just sit back in the glow of your television screen and let yourself be consumed. Serial Experiments Lane is not only a top-tier sci-fi anime, but its surrealistic take on identity, how we interact with the world around us, and even reality itself was groundbreaking. The show takes an avant-garde approach to what the creators thought the internet would look like when this was made in 1998. The show gets alarmingly close to some of the realities that we actually face today. Serial Experiments Lane is a cult classic and one of those staple anime that you really need to watch sometime in your life. So what better time to, like Lane, take the plunge now. Number 6. Link Click. Gonna say something super controversial here. Link Click is leaps and bounds better than Steins Gate. While Steins Gate focuses on one major event, Link Click takes more of an anthology approach that seems slightly disconnected on first glance, but comes together in earth-shattering ways by the end of the first season. Season 2 then takes those elements and forces you along on a devastating deep dive. Following two childhood friends who team up to time travel, with one having the actual time traveling ability, as the other guides them when they are there. But the catch is, they can only travel through photographs. They create a business that allows customers to pass messages along to their past selves. However, with this time travel, they have to be ridiculously careful not to actually really change anything, otherwise a butterfly effect could start to tear these seams of reality apart. Link Click is a Chinese donghua and one of the best in the genre I've seen. I'm really hoping that this helps bring donghwas to more of a mainstream light, and so far it looks like it is. I am a massive advocate of promoting anime from other countries that are not Japan, so I was so excited to watch more Chinese anime, and Link Click did not disappoint. The second season came out last year and emotionally destroyed me. Like, sobbing, brother came in to ask me what was wrong, destroyed me. If you like time travel anime, I cannot recommend this puppy enough. Link Click is the best time travel anime I have ever seen and has the official chokehold on the genre. Number 5. Neon Genesis Evangelion. This is another OG anime that seemed to trick a lot of you into hating a poor child soldier, but okay, here's some major spoiler warnings, but I mean, the show's been out since the 90s, so you should get it. I am team end of Evangelion. Like, literally, all of the adults in this show. They got what they deserved. Neon Genesis is such an anime classic that if you haven't seen it at this point, you might just want to keep that to yourself. I made the mistake of saying that I hadn't seen it and literally got side-eyed out of the room. It's not too late though, and you have nothing to be ashamed about if you hadn't. I literally didn't watch this anime until like 2 years ago. The story follows Shinji, a teenager who goes to live with his emotionally distant and neglectful father, who pretty much just abandoned the family to work on some big, massive mechas. Shinji then gets drop-kicked into this world and shit happens. Big, earth-shattering, existential shit that will leave you clapping your hands and saying, "Congratulations!" Neon Genesis Evangelion is a sci-fi epic that helped revolutionize the genre and anime as a whole. Plus, it helped popularize otaku culture as a whole, and literally has been credited for making cosplay a worldwide phenomenon. Number 4. Cyberpunk Edgerunner. Cyberpunk Edgerunner is one of those anime that loves to remind me that yes, I am emotionally fragile and very mentally ill. If you ever want to see me cry, like ugly cry, put on the finale of this puppy. She did a number on me, and for good reason. Cyberpunk Edgerunner is just one of the best cyberpunk anime, if not the actual best. We follow David, a high schooler who is just trying to survive his elite school while being lower class, and he's constantly harassed like every day for it. When his life falls apart, and I mean falls apart, he's presented with an opportunity which he recklessly jumps for. From here, we watch the consequences of this decision and how it transforms everything about him. Cyberpunk Edgerunner is like a beautiful car crash that you can't look away from. You are absolutely horrified, but you just keep on watching while attempting to hold on to any scrap of hope. Just be prepared though, cause she doesn't give two fucks about your feelings. Not gonna lie, I still can't listen to this song without becoming extremely and emotionally distressed. This is an incredibly gorgeously animated show whose vibrant colors are not a coincidence, because this is by Trigger, who did the chaotic masterpiece that is Kill la Kill. Strap in, hydrate yourself, and just watch something fluffy after you finish, because Jesus, yeah. Number 3, Heavenly Delusion. Talk about the biggest sleeper hit of the last few years and one of the best sci-fi pieces of media I have ever seen, and this is including sci-fi across all mediums. A lot of anime screenplays go to shit because they tell you instead of showing you. They just spell it out for you and hold your hand. But Heavenly Delusion's mystery leaves you alone in the goddamn desert and makes you piece together every single new piece of information. That process is one of the most satisfying things I've experienced in recent memories. When you get to the end and things finally come together, good God. I have never been in so much physical pain that I have to wait for a second season. Heavenly Delusion works with two storylines that are played out in tandem with each other. The first follows travelers who are both seeking answers to their mysterious past, while attempting to unravel what caused the great disaster 25 years ago. The second follows a secluded, technologically advanced school where the children are protected from the terrors of the outside world and are given every single advantage in the world. But through these opportunities and advantages, there's something off, but you don't fully understand what until the end. Heavenly Delusion slowly reveals the truth of how these two storylines are related, finally revealing their connecting factor in the last few minutes of the show. I cannot stress how incredible this show is. Plus, it has some of the most disturbing body horror I have ever seen in anime that made me physically nauseous. It was so good. The biggest downside of this show was that it was streamed on Disney+, who not only dropped the ball on promoting it, but literally did nothing to promote it, like not even a single tweet. So hardly anyone even knows about this masterpiece, so I'm begging you, please watch this show. Tell your friends to watch this show. Shout about it to strangers on the street, because if this gets canceled and doesn't get a second season, I might actually die. Number 2, Akira. To literally no one's surprise, we have the godfather of anime and sci-fi films, Akira. Since its release in 1988, it revolutionized how the world saw anime, and its influence and legacy is so strong that nearly all of the anime that you watch today has been influenced by it one way or the other. I watched this movie far too young, and because of that, I didn't like it. It was too violent, too depressing, just too much. I always knew that I needed to rewatch it, but I never got around to it. Until now. I am writing this right after watching it, and I'm absolutely speechless. Like, I'm literally shaking, and I feel like I'm gonna burst into tears any second. Like, this movie is perfection, but god damn does it destroy you on every single level. I don't even know what to say. I totally understand now why it's so revered, and I'm really embarrassed that it took me this long to figure it out. I'm just sitting here in stunned silence, dissociating because my brain can't process just how magnificent this film is. If you haven't seen it, I don't want to give away any of the plot, but you should just go into this one blind. It's a masterpiece in every sense of the word, and I want to say more about it, but
The woman was too stunned to speak.
I am very conflicted about making this number 2 since it's an amazing film and did so much to change the landscape for anime as a medium. Probably gonna have a massive existential guilt trip for the next couple days for not putting this as number 1. So let's just make this an official tie with the number 1 pick. If you're only gonna watch one thing from this list, watch this. Akira is a spectacle. Akira is a masterpiece. Akira is Akira. Honorable mentions. Deco. Who would have thought that a reimagined version of Huckleberry Finn would be this simultaneously cute, weird, and self-aware? Deco is a very strange and wonderful show, which is no coincidence because it was made by my favorite anime studio, Science Saru, who made Devilman Crybaby and Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken. The story emulates Huckleberry Finn, but in a Black Mirror-esque way where getting hearts on day-to-day activities can make or break you. It goes pretty haywire from there, so it's best to just see it for yourself. Deco was also pretty slept on when it came out, so I'd highly, highly recommend y'all check it out. Erased. One of the best time travel anime out there that truly asks the question, why won't someone please protect these children? Literally, what is wrong with anime putting so many children in these ridiculous life or death situations? That's what our main character would desperately like to know as he's thrust back into his childhood in an attempt to save a childhood friend. And, possibly catch the killer who ruined all of their lives. Erased does an amazing job at keeping you engaged while slowly revealing its mystery. And at number 1, we have Pluto. Pluto is a modern masterpiece, plain and simple. I don't care how many of my top 10 lists this anime makes it into because it deserves its spot in every single one. Pluto was written by Naoki Urasawa, who also wrote Monster, aka the greatest psychological thriller in all of anime. Pluto's been in the works since the manga came out 2 decades ago. But the wait was worth it because this anime truly is a masterpiece and was my favorite anime of 2023. Pluto is a reimagining of the Astro Boy series, which is considered to be the first mainstream anime and came out during the 50s. Naoki Urasawa took these beloved characters and made them into his own. We follow Gazisht, a robot detective who gets pulled into a massive international case. Someone or something is killing the world's most powerful robots and there's no end in sight. The layers in Pluto are endless. It's 1, a serial killer mystery, 2, a social commentary on the war machine, the moral conundrum of using robots as a tool for war while picking and choosing what they can remember after the events, 3, a political drama about bigotry and where radicalized extremism can lead to, and 4, an existential journey that makes us question our own responsibility in the corrupt world we all contribute to around us. But all of that is just the tip of the iceberg because we're talking Naoki Urasawa. He is the king of setting up the most intricate storylines that are so brilliantly interwoven that when they all come together in the end, it is a sight to behold. I hope that I've done Pluto justice in conveying just how much y'all need to watch this anime. Pluto isn't just an amazing sci-fi anime. It's also not just one of the best anime of the last few years. Pluto is a future classic and one of the best anime of our generation. Sci-fi has always been a genre that I've loved ever since growing up with classics like The Matrix, District 9, and my newest favorite, Everything Everywhere All at Once. It will always be a genre that I adore, and these anime helped remind me of that joy. Since sci-fi and anime both share the same burning desire to explore creativity to the deepest depths of the mind, they are a perfect marriage. Looking back on anime over time, we can see that harmonious marriage express itself in endless ways. It's been such a joy to watch sci-fi anime continue to evolve and surprise me, and I'm incredibly excited and hopeful for the future of sci-fi after seeing the masterpieces that have come out in the last 2 years alone. Making this video has been a wonderful reminder of just how much I love this genre. With this year's crop of seasonal anime, I am really going to challenge myself to give the new class of sci-fi a shot and re-immerse myself in this truly magical world. Thank y'all so much for sticking around, and I'll see all of y'all on the next one.